Okay, um, hi guys. You probably just watched the introduction video, but now I'm gonna do one on conclusion. So, first of all, this is the general model. Okay, so like the opposite of of an introduction, where we go from very general to specific. Now doing that. We're doing the opposite of that. We're starting off specific with our thesis, and we're slowly releasing our audience. Okay, um, you want to release your audience in a way where they feel like it's complete and it doesn't just end. Okay, it brings closure. So pay attention to this. In conclusion, I will now repeat everything I just said in my essay. Said no teacher ever. So you're not just repeating everything you're saying. Okay, that's not the point of a conclusion. A conclusion has three parts: restate the thesis, summarize the main points, and has an intensified insight. First one, restate the thesis. Okay, thesis obviously very specific, so it's at the top of the pyramid. Okay, do not just copy your thesis. You need to paraphrase it. You're saying the same things, but in different words. Okay, you can have more than one sentence here. You need a transition word to signal the end, that you're transitioning to the end. Okay, so for example, in conclusion, we have proved that Miss Itamoto is indeed beautiful because of her face and hair. She may not meet the West standard definition of beauty. However, we have seen that this standard is not the only thing in this world that defines beauty. So right there, two sentences I took to restate my thesis. Okay, summarize main points. Okay, what you're doing here is you're going to do a recap of your main points, but in a fresh way. Like you're not just repeating and pulling your evidence and saying it all over again. We already read that. Okay. What you're trying to do is you're trying to recap, you're trying to summarize, but in a way that we haven't discussed yet. Okay. So, example, a person's face and hair affect their beauty assessments. We looked at two studies from two distinguished scientists. Both showed without a doubt that Miss Itamoto's face and hair rate high on the beauty scale. We understand that Western beauty standards are the world standard, and yes, Miss Itamoto is not tall, skinny, and white. However, it is proven that other factors such as intelligence also play into beauty assessments, and that these Western standards alone don't hold as much weight as we are taught to believe. Okay, so if you look at what I did, I didn't mention really anything that specific parts of any kind of statistics that these studies showed. Okay, we summarized it. Okay, intensified insight. An intensified insight is basically a hook, but for your conclusion. It's like you're not trying to hook the reader in. You want to leave them with something to think about, though. You're releasing them back. Okay? But you don't want them to just stop your essay, and you don't want them to just end it. You want to leave them with something to think about, something to ponder. Okay? Over here, you need to connect it to somehow like why it's important in society, or relate its importance towards your reader. Why should your reader care about your argument? Okay, try to find a trigger that something that most people care about. Okay, think of the intensified insights statement as a hook. Okay, but you're not. Okay, I already said this, but yeah, you're not gaining their attention. You want to leave them and be memorable. Okay, this leaves a lasting impression. Okay, here's a bad example. Thank you for reading my essay. What do you think about depression? Okay, here's a good example. One of my favorite quotes is by D.H. Lawrence, and it goes, "Life is beautiful when it consumes you." I've always wondered though, what if what consumes us isn't beautiful? So, right here, you almost get like a sense of, oh, okay, Like, and it leaves us with this powerful impact of emotion where we're hit with something, and it's like another reminder that sometimes what their topic was about, obviously something about depression, that some people are consumed by it, and it leaves us with this thought to think about. Okay. Now, an example of what I would use for the sample essay, the sample topic of me. With social media taking over our lives and the increasing pressure to look perfect, this is an excellent reminder that the media doesn't truly define beauty. Everybody is beautiful to somebody. Okay, so right here, technically, this alone is my intensified insight. Okay, however, it needed some kind of background. So the trigger that I used was social media, something that people care about, that most people can relate to. Most people can relate to this. Okay. And also, most people can relate to the fact about how the media defines beauty and the pressure to look perfect all the time. Okay. So let's take a look at the complete example and see how everything flows together. In conclusion, we have proved that Miss Itamono is indeed beautiful because of her face and hair. She may not meet the West standards of definition of beauty. However, we have seen that this standard is not the only thing in this world that defines beauty. That was our thesis. A person's face and hair affect their beauty assessments. We looked at two studies from two distinguished scientists. Both showed without a doubt that Miss Itamono's face and hair rate high on the beauty scale. We understand that Western beauty standards are the world standard, and yes, Miss Itamono is not tall, skinny, and white. However, it is proven that other factors such as intelligence also play into beauty assessment, and that these Western standards don't hold as much weight as we are taught to believe. With social media taking over our lives and the increasing pressure to look perfect, this is an excellent reminder that the media doesn't truly define beauty. Everybody is beautiful to somebody. Okay, so when put together, everything should flow. Okay, it should never sound choppy. You want to make sure that everything is you're slowly releasing the reader back out into the world. Okay, yeah. So, any questions? Message me on Remind. See you guys later.